Hello, I'm speaking to you actually a few days after session, and we've had a couple of days here to sort of gather our thoughts about the session and think about what happens next. I think there may be a conception that once session is over, well, that's it for the year. All the legislators go home, and it's pretty much over until the next session begins. But in fact, while it is true the legislators go home, there's still lots to do. Of course, we need to get out information about the bills that were passed in session, and so we usually put together both written materials, and of course we have opportunities to speak within the community about what happened in this past session. Of course, we passed a budget in this last session. Now, from our caucus's point of view, many of us voted against the budget because we didn't think that it put enough money into doing real things that Hoosiers expect, such as creating jobs, providing the dollars necessary to really retrain our workforce for the future jobs for our state. But nonetheless, there was a two-year budget, of course, put together. And there were a number of other bills, too, which were important. Our caucus worked very heavily on the reforms to our criminal justice system. And we know that we'll be coming back next year and also taking a look at those reforms and how they can be made even better, how we can be really efficient in terms of making sure that the most serious offenders are punished and punished severely so that there is a deterrent to crime, but also being smart about those offenses which really call for more of a community justice type of approach. One of the other important things we'll be doing over the summer will be actually officially and formally studying various topics for review in the future by the General Assembly. And as leader of the Senate Democrat caucus, I get to participate directly in exactly which topics will be chosen. And that's quite a chore in and of itself, because I was reviewing the various issues, specific issues to be studied in this upcoming interim period of time. And believe it or not, there were over 160 different issues that we could choose from. Now, we won't be able to study all 160, so the leaders of the four caucuses will now sit down, decide which of those issues should be actually studied in the interim study committees, which will commence, about midsummer or so, and then run through most of the fall. And of course, legislators will participate in those upcoming study committees as well. We have to consider issues that have even arisen since the time we got out of session. For example, you may have been hearing in the news about the problems with the I-step testing which occurred. And it does seem that now would be a good time for us to look at those issues and the whole issue of exactly what does it mean that we have this I-step testing, and is it really fulfilling the goals that we thought such testing did when we first established the test. So, as you can see, we've got a lot to do yet, even though we're not officially in session. And as always, we want to hear from you, our constituents, about what are your concerns for the state of Indiana.